Hey folks, welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 15th of January 2024. I have to get used to saying that. I hope you're all doing well. Happy New Year. I'm sorry for being so quiet over these past weeks. We've been away traveling, and my mother-in-law just arrived from Denmark, so we've been kind of hanging around a little bit and having a pretty nice time. Even though I haven't been doing videos, I've been working super hard on a lot of different things, as you might have seen. I think you'll probably notice the majority of the changes on the dashboards, because I've been really working on a couple things. Number one is I've been investing a ton of time in the asset strength reversion algo. I think it has enormous potential, probably more so than any of the other algos that we have. There's just a couple of things that I have to iron out, and I found some solutions to the problems I've had, and I'm just busy implementing those at the moment. But it's looking really good so far, and so hopefully we will have solutions. We'll have an update soon, and I think the results will blow most of your minds. So that'll be very exciting indeed. Also, before I continue, I just wanted to share what these dashboards are actually showing. Todd was over visiting. He was here on holiday with his family, and we met up for a Danish pastry and a coffee at my favorite coffee shop here in Ubud. And he thought that the dashboards here were just showing information pertaining to the algos on the instance that I was running, which is not true. Supply and demand. This is a dashboard displaying the levels that have been qualified by the buy and sell zones engine, and I have that running on a server, and it's just posting this information every 5 minutes or so. And so this is just information that comes from that particular tool. Then I have this one here, buy and sell zones, and this is coming from everybody's algos. So if we have 100 different algos running, which I think we have close to, I think we're probably just under 180 or so, something like that. But this is the dashboard that shows all the positions taken by all of the instances running. And so this is the data that is sent, the account type, the asset, lots, entry, stop, target, the time frame operation, and the mode, and the time is something I add on as it comes in. But this is a lot of information that's available here, and the cool thing about it is you can gain an understanding of how many people are running it live, 55%, how many people are running it demo, we have 45%. And so it kind of gives you an idea of the confidence in the algo, and these will change a lot. Sometimes we have 99% live, other times we have 99% demo. But this gives you an idea of the type of accounts that this is running on. Then we have the buy and sell bias, and so you can see how many buy operations are being used across all of the instances of the algo, in contrast to the sell operations. So that's pretty interesting. And the same applies for this one here, the asset strength. This is all of the algos, all of the instances of the algos that are running. And so you can I have a little bit less operation in this one here, but you can see that we have some people using it on the M5, and I know who that is because we've created a group of people who are helping me refine this algorithm, and so there's a lot of testing, and so this is receiving a lot of attention at the moment, which is super exciting. And so keep your eyes on ASI. And down here, this is a new one that I just finished building over the holidays, and this is currency strength data. And the cool thing about this is this is the information that you're seeing here is also being used on another project that I have called SmartSwap. So smartswap.site or smartswap.ninja. That won't work. Let's leave it on site. This is a website that I'm just making that will be useful for people who have multi-currency accounts, like most people. You have a bit of euros, you have a bit of Swiss franc, a bit of Aussie dollars, American dollars, whatever, but you don't really know when would be the best time to exchange one for the other. And so this website will help with that. And it's still work in process, so it's not I mean, it's publicly available. You can visit it and have a look at it, but I'm not quite done building the algos. So if you go here to the swap page, you'll see pretty much the same, well, a lot of the same information as you can see on the Pipnotic website. And this is the new one. I actually built it for Smart Swap, but I put it on the Pipnotic website because I want this to be available here as well. But essentially what it's showing is it's showing all of the currencies, and we have several currencies. We have all of the major cryptocurrencies plus the Singy dollar plus Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin Cash, and I'm going to add other ones as well. But so what it's saying is, for example, if we look at this one here, this Bitcoin one, it says that for Bitcoin, relative to the other cryptocurrencies and normal currencies, fiat currencies, is trading against, we have a sell bias. And we are longer term, which means we're focusing on weekly cycles, and the current cycle is positive. And so if I explain what that means, so if you consider, if you're using the histogram, this is common knowledge for you, but the cycle normally looks like that. Looks like this. This is the beginning of a bear cycle. This is a completion of the bear cycle, and then the bull cycle begins, and it looks like this. Okay, and currently you can see here that we are positive. So that means that we are moving higher here. And because it's saying sell, it means that we have already experienced a bull run, and now we're up here. We're just about to repeat what we saw and begin to sell off. And this is something that is fascinating, because when you start to see something like that, what's happening here in price is telling us something about the potential future value of Bitcoin. And a very good friend of mine who also lives here in Bali he's a very heavy Bitcoin trader, and he was asking me a while ago, he said, "What's your algo saying?" And this is when Bitcoin was racing north. It was like this. It was going up and up and up and up and up. It actually just made a pattern like this on the weekly or the daily, where it's just racing like that. And when it was looking like its strongest, the algo was saying, it's time to sell. And so I told my friend, what do you get? I said, he asked me, and I said, this is what it's telling me, do with the information what you like. And so he sold at 48,000, which is pretty precisely where it was at the point. And then it dumped. Now it's down at whatever, 42 or whatever. So that was a very, very interesting. So this is super, super powerful information here. And so I advise you to pay attention to it. And we have everything in here. And we're going to be adding, actually we don't have everything. We have far from everything. We have a lot of stuff here. And we have a lot of the important stuff here. If you look at ETH, we have ETH in there. And it's looking sell. So we're doing the same thing. We've just completed on the long and the medium term. Let me show you what exactly that means. This is the bear cycle. Looks like this. This is kind of the mean line, if you will, or the zero line. And then what's happening here, the long cycle is the big one. Then I'll change the color here to cyan. And so this cycle, the medium cycle, will look like this. Look a little bit like that. Okay, and so the cool thing about this is these little cycles, they can be diced up into mini cycles as well. It wasn't very straight. I'll just do it like this. We've got this one here. Okay, have the zero line, and so now we are up here. Okay, we are up here. Oops, wrong thing. We are up here on the long term, weekly, and we are also, sorry, that was the wrong one, on this one, and we are also up there on the medium term, which is up here. So this is a really, really beautiful opportunity to sell Ethereum. And the reason it is because we have alignment between these two cycles here. And if they're all red, which they could be, let me just explain before I continue what this would look like. It's saying wait. What this would look like then is that, let me use a different color, black. Okay, so we have a similar thing which looks like this. where we have, looks like this. These are like the micro or the small cycles, the short-term cycles. Looks like that. Okay, and if they were all doing this, then all three of these would be sell, sell, sell. They'd all be red. But what we can see here is, in fact, that we are seeing something a little bit different here. What we're seeing here, in fact, is the opposite, where we have a negative, where I'll draw the whole thing, but what we're seeing is something like this. So we're negative like that. Okay, and it's starting to fall short term, which means that the prices are moving down on the short term, but we have not yet begun to show symptoms of tired selling. Sorry, tired selling. And so it is continuing to move lower, and so we are being told to wait. It says wait, says the algo. Okay, we'll wait. So we sit and we wait, and then we wait for it to say something else. Okay, and until it says buy, we know that it's probably going to continue to fall. And we are just at because so the cycle for this one is looking like that. Okay, and the price chart means it's continuing to fall, so we are still falling into even more negative territory here. So we have not started to, exhibit behaviors that would lead us to believe that we would start to move up. Okay, I hope that was clear. So that's what that is. So that's a really cool tool. So I encourage you all to use it. And if you're going on holiday, you're coming to, or you're going to, I don't know, to Denmark to visit family. Actually, I don't have the Danish kroner. We don't use euros in Denmark. Let's say Germany, where you use euros. You could go euro. So what's it looking like there? Well, it's looking like that the euro is going to begin to appreciate in value relative to the other currencies, and we can see this on the medium and the long term. So that's pretty cool. So that's a good, I'm going to go into my TransferWise account and I'm going to take on a position where I buy euros. And so what you would do here is you would look for something to sell relative to the euro, long medium, and as Ethereum, you could do that. The British pound. So the British pound has really been racing north. Where's my pencil color? Magenta. And so here on the long and the medium term, we have been moving higher on the British pound, which we've seen. We just go like this, you can see. And on the euro, it's doing the opposite. It's doing this. Like this. And so it would be a really beautiful idea to sell the British pound and to buy the euro. Okay, and so if you are holding British pounds in your Wise or Remitly account, then you would convert them for euros, which are likely going to appreciate in value relative to the pound. Okay, so this is how I'm using it, and I've been using it quite a lot in Wise. Recently I had a trade on, actually this isn't recent, this is probably half a year ago, but I had a trade on the American dollar versus the Kiwi dollar, and I did just like standard lot sizes, micro lot sizes. So I was doing it in 1,000 American dollar chunks, and I would sell one and buy the other. And via these transactions alone, I was able to generate 3% returns at the end of the cycle just by converting it back to American dollars. So it's a really, really beautiful way to leverage the information that's available to you, and also ensure that your money is not evaporating because of inflation and whatnot. So I encourage you to take a look at it. Okay, so that was that. We have a few others here. We have multi-time frame. And this multi-time frame is really cool because it shows us all the currencies, all the important ones, and we have the colors that we know from the software. And you can see here, this is a little bit difficult because Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum, they kind of skew the results and make this look quite small, which is a pain. But what we can see here essentially is that on this time frame, which is the weekly, we have very negative weekly data. And if you remember to what I just said about the other table, that the current alerts, it said it was maybe time to start to buy the euro. And you can see it's very negative. Maybe it's also time to start to buy the American dollar. Maybe it's also time to start to buy Bitcoin Cash. Okay, and you can see here, this is the weekly data. We also have negative data on the daily chart, and we have slightly positive data on the 4-hour chart. Okay, and so this just gives you like a really cool indication of what it is that's going on. I don't know if I'm going to leave these on there because I don't like that it kind of ruins all of these. Maybe I'll separate them into 2 different dashboards, but this is what we have for the time being. Then we have another one, which is momentum, which is super cool as well, if I do say so myself. And this shows us acceleration. So this is 4-hour currency strength data, which is kind of the here and now. And the cool thing about it is that if we look at Bitcoin Cash, I love this because you can see that we have, this is Bitcoin Cash strength relative to a basket of other cryptocurrencies. Okay, and it is showing us 2 periods ago that prices were really going negative, and then 1 period ago slightly less negative, and the current period we really slowed down. What's that telling us? Well, that's telling us that it's probably time to start to buy Bitcoin Cash. Okay, and you can see that super clearly here, where you can see a decreasing size of these rectangles here, which I think is super, super beautiful. It's very, very visual, which I like. And you can see Ethereum, the opposite is happening, where you had 2 periods ago, you know, it's a little bit negative. 1 period ago, okay, it started to pick up, and this period, it's selling off. It's selling off like crazy. And if, again, we refer back to what we saw on the current alerts, it reflects very much the information that we could see in the table, that the short term said, wait, we were continuing to move negative. Yeah, so the same here on the American dollar. We are 2 periods ago, we were bullish. 1 period ago, bullish. But this period, we're not quite as bullish as we were. And so we're starting to slow down. So maybe it's time to, shorter term, sell the American dollar. Right, and then we have a bubble chart, which is kind of it's not self-explanatory at all. But what we can see here is we have currency strength last period, currency strength this period. And so here you can see if it goes up a little bit here, okay, then a little bit of strength. If it goes really far over on this one, that means that we've had an increase in the strength. Like this one here, this is a good example. Like you can see the Bitcoin Cash is expanding negatively. Okay, so we were like 1 point minus 1.5, and now we're negative 0.5, and so things are really slowing down. So if this would have gone all the way up and all the way over, that means that it's flying north. But if it goes a tiny bit up and all the way over, that means that we have the opposite happening. So this just gives us like a pretty cool indication of where these are. Normally these will line up kind of like that, and they'll kind of move back and forth along here. But sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll will be very, very positive and then less positive, a little bit negative, or rather a little bit negative and then really negative. Okay, and so this is just a really beautiful way for us to see this visually. Then we have a bar chart, which is my personal favorite, and this shows us 4-hour currency strength, and it shows us for the past 3 periods. So you can see here, if we look at this here, this is current currency strength for the American dollar, and it is weaker than the previous, which was higher than 2 periods ago. And this is a nice situation where we have the Japanese yen that we are simply just decreasing in strength. Okay, and so you want to pair that with something that's increasing. Okay, so what this is telling us, which is a very valuable information, is that the currency strength on the Japanese yen is probably something like this, cycle-wise. And we are probably up here, and now we're slowly, if this is the currency strength, if we look at the price, it's probably been increasing, Now it's slowly starting to move down. That's what this is showing us. So looking at this, I already know what the price chart is going to look like. Okay, and Bitcoin, we had a little bit negative, really negative, and that currently we are having slightly less negative, which means what? It means that Bitcoin probably did something like this. Well, we know that it went up a little bit more, then it sold off a little bit, then sold off a lot, and now it's selling off less. So it's looking like this, and you can see that, or at least I can, because I've sat staring at this stuff for enough time. This is telling me that the price chart looks probably similar to that on the 4-hour chart. And in fact, let's have a look and see it and see if it does. Okay, and here we can see, I went into the hourly chart so we could see a little bit more clarity, but it's doing precisely there what we said, where we had it's a little bit different, but we went up, we went higher, then we went down more, and now we are starting to move up, as you can see just down here in the bottom. That's kind of fun. And so you can, using that information, assess what is actually happening behind the scenes for the strength of the Bitcoin cryptocurrency relative to the American dollar. So that's pretty cool. And that's it. That's all I have on the dashboards. But I encourage you to take a look at those because they're super, super powerful. And also, if you don't have your charts, you still want to make decisions, you can go here and you can make these decisions based on what you can see here. I wouldn't do that initially, but I would certainly encourage you to do that over the course of the next couple of weeks until you feel more comfortable spotting these divergences and convergences and whatnot. It's super, super exciting. Good. Well, I've been rambling now for 21 minutes and 50 seconds, so I'm going to stop. But I hope you're doing well. All of you have any questions, please let me know and stay tuned. Got lots of exciting things headed our way. Thanks for now.